Greetings and welcome back to Pseudo's journey through the Japanese air tech tree in War Thunder, a series of subpar guides made for unskilled free-to-play players by an unskilled free-to-play player. Today, after having struggled through a grueling amount of 7.7mm machine guns, flammable planes, and frankly terrible engines, we will be wrapping up Rank 1 of the Japanese air tech tree. We will have a few different segments to show off the tech tree and compare it to other nations. This should be a handy-dandy guide for everybody about Rank 1 of the Japanese air tech tree, from the worst and best to play, to some recommended lineups for CAS, to interesting weaponry that you shouldn't skip. All this and more on today's Rank Wrap-Up. To start off with, let's have some awards for the worst and best of several categories. The categories that planes will be fighting for today are SL grinding, fun factor, uniqueness, dogfighting capability, ground CAS capability, and naval CAS capability. First up on the roster, SL grinding. You need SL, I need SL, everybody needs as much SL as they can get their hands on, even in the early game. That Key 45 hay surely isn't going to pay for itself. So, if you want to get as much SL as you can in Rank 1 as a new player, the plane you should have your sights set upon is the Key 21 Da. This plane is a fast and nimble bomber for its size and has the ordnance needed to wipe out over 3 bases. For Japan, this is the best you'll get anywhere in the tech tree. While the defensive gunners are lacking at the best of times, and this was the most difficult plane in all of Rank 1 Japan for me to get a kill with, the speed with which it can reach enemy bases and the amount of bombs it can drop on them make this an absolute SL printing machine. So, if repair and modification costs are already starting to burn a hole in your pocket, there's no better solution at Rank 1 Japan than the Key 21 Da. Next up, the winner of what is probably the most important category, the fun factor. While War Thunder is a highly competitive and stressful game, it is a game at the end of the day, and the amount of fun you have while playing a plane should be the end goal. While this is highly subjective, I think that you might just agree with me once you try it, that the most fun plane in Rank 1 Japan is the Key 45 Cole. The Key 45 Cole is technically an interceptor, but it might as well be a heavy fighter with its turn performance. The firepower is its strong suit, with 2 12.7mm Hole 103 machine guns and a 20mm Hole 3 cannon, allowing it to rip through bombers and fighters alike. Combine its surprising agility with an interceptor air spawn, and you can have an absolute blast melting enemies with this unique interceptor for the tree. Try it out, and I think that you won't regret it. Next, the category for uniqueness. Sometimes we all just want to play a wacky plane which nothing else quite matches, whether or not it's any good. For this, I'd have to give the most interesting plane award to one that you likely suspect if you've watched some of my past videos where I reference it occasionally, the Key 45 Tay. This plane can be found early on at BR 1.7 and has a 37mm cannon as its only offensive armament with just a handful of shots. However, these shots can annihilate anything they happen to hit. Furthermore, it has both decent bombs and 2 Schräge Musik cannons to hit bombers above or some of the most amazing trick shots you'll ever see. With a decent airframe to boot, the Key 45 Tay is one crazy wacky plane, though definitely not a good one. The next award is one that will be well disputed, as it is the main focus of the Japanese air tech tree, the dogfighting performance. We have so many strong contenders here, with the predecessors, the Key and Zero fighter lines, being easily the best dogfighters at their respective BRs. So, while it might be a little bit controversial, I would have to give the Best Dogfighter award to the Key 27 Otsu. This is an insane plane for Battle Rating 2.0, with incredible turning capabilities. Not only that, the biggest selling point is the engine, which has enough low-speed acceleration to keep you at your optimal turning speed until your fuel runs dry, be it in vertical or horizontal maneuvers. While the Key 43s would have to be my go-to for their improved turn time, firepower, and roll rate, increased battle rating is a bit painful, with constant full up tiers to 3.7. The Key 43s are, performance-wise, far better than the Key 27 Otsu, but there are planes which can actually contest them at their typical battle ratings. The Ki 27 Otsu, however, is completely uncontested at 2.0, which is why I shall give it this honor. For all of the ground players, the next award is for you, the Best Ground CAS Plane Award. This should be no surprise, as the best bomb-slinging plane at Rank 1 Japan can only be the B5N2. Having the exact same bomb loadout at 1.3 as the B6N1 Model 11 at 1.7, the B5N2 can absolutely dominate with the massive 800 kilogram bomb or 250 kilogram bombs. Being as nimble as a strike aircraft can be, its only flaw is a lack of speed and a lack of guns. However, with the size of the ordnance dropped and the agility with which it can avoid AA and air targets, combine to make this an incredible CAS machine. For our two naval players out there, the final award offered today is the best plane for anti-naval CAS. Similarly to ground CAS, this can only go to one plane. Once again, the winner is the B5N2. Pulling in a second victory for Rank 1, the B5N2 continues to sweep the field by flexing its incredible ordnance load, supreme agility, and lower BR than the B6N1 Model 11. The key feature here is the Type 91 Model 3 torpedo. This torpedo boasts a warhead which can crack any destroyer in the game in two, and the B5N2 is one of the few vehicles in the game with the agility to drop it and survive the legendary naval AA barrages. If you need a naval CAS option, this and the B6N1 Model 11 are your one or two-stop shop. Alright, with the awards out of the way, let's move on to something else for our ground enjoyers, some great lineups to use these planes with. For Rank 1 Japan, two clear lineups stand out to me. Firstly, a BR 1.3 lineup. While the Chi-Ha is a bit underpowered, the incredible firepower of the Horo can toe the line. The Type 94 may also be added for some anti-air fire, though likely not to too much success. For the planes to add, both the B5N2 and the Ki 32 can make fine additions to your 1.3 lineup. With the B5N2 being able to take out any large groups of enemies with its massive bombs, and the Ki 32 taking on numerous smaller ones with its high amount of still potent 100 kilogram bombs, this lineup centered around the Horo can be an early major pain for enemy players. The second lineup is a 1.7 lineup. Likely keeping the Chi-Ha, you'll upgrade the Horo to the even better Rogo Experimental. With a 120mm cannon with much better range, you decimate just about anything. A sleeper hit here is the Tase. While it looks unassuming and not great for aircraft, this quick little bugger has an armored target belt which can shred any tank at this battle rating from the side, and sometimes even from the front. My highest kill streak in all of Rank 1 ground was achieved with this little guy. Augmenting this relatively solid lineup can only be the B6N1 Model 11, a B5N2 upgraded with better speed, though at the cost of maneuverability. This plane can easily clear out groups of enemies, possibly even keeping the B5N2 as a sort of backup for the B6N1 Model 11. You'll be a rat-like annoyance, which every Japanese ground main should aspire to be. Now, jumping back to air battles, it would be good to look at how any new player should try to climb the tree. With so many options, how do you know where you should go first as a new player? While it is, of course, dependent on skill level and playstyle, I'll go through what I think would be a good way to go about it. Start out with the Ki 10s, of course, as they are the classic biplanes which everyone should start out with. Next, get the F1M2 as a sort of side grade, but with an air spawn, but a bit more weight to learn a little different playstyle. Then, I'd recommend going for the A5M4. At a relatively low BR, this one will give you a real taste of the tech tree without pushing you into too high of tiers right off the bat. Next up, I'd get the Ki 45 Te, but do not play it unless you are already a skilled player. As stated earlier, it is a very difficult, though wacky plane at the best of times, and as a new player, it won't end well for you. The reason you got that one, though, is so you can unlock the Ki 45 Otsu folded under it. While it is a bit of a BR jump to 2.3, it is the best jack of all trades of the Ki 45 family, so it should give you a taste of a different playstyle without bumping you to the 2.7 Ki 45. Then, get and play through the B5N2, Ki 32, and D3A1. None of these will be too much fun in air battles, but they can provide a bit of bombing and CAS gameplay if you want it. Then, get the Key 21 as your first taste of a real bomber in the game, and for those sweet, sweet silver lions. Next up, return to the fighter lines and get the Key 21 Otsu. At 2.0 and with a bit of playtime under your belt, this one should be a bunch of fun. Next up, get the highest ranked fighters at this battle rating, the Key 43s and the Key 45 Cole. These ones are a little bit of a step up with constant up tiers, but all three of these planes are true Japanese planes, and will feel like a major step up in quality from the rest of rank 1. If you want a bit of a challenge, the Key 45 Hei and the Key 109 are good choices thereafter, though likely not as much fun as the aforementioned 2.7 fighters. Finally, get the B6N1 Model 11, as it's really only a very minor upgrade or side grade to the B5N2 and the H6K4. While neither are bad, and the H6K4 especially can get some very nice kills with the 20mm gunner in the tail, neither are anything that is riveting to say the least. Almost at the end of the Rank 1 wrap-up, let's take a quick look at how early Imperial Japanese fighters matched up against the rest of the world in 7 categories: dogfighting, strategic fighting, bombing, armaments, CAS, fun, and ease of use. The ranking options will be as follows. F rank signifies the worst air tech tree in War Thunder in a certain regard. D tier means something that is atrocious but does have some redeeming features. C tier means just below average, while B tier means just above average. A tier means very good in a certain metric, and S tier means that the planes stand apart from the other nations as the very best in class at that rank. Only one S tier and one F tier may be allotted for a certain statistic at any rank. In dogfighting, Japan, as it typically will, earns itself the coveted S rank. The dogfighting capabilities of the Japanese prop planes are only rivaled by the likes of the British Spitfires. However, even they fall short of the insane turning capabilities of the Japanese aircraft. Strategic fighting is a metric which denotes the other elements of a fight outside of dogfighting, such as speed, energy retention, climb rate, and other metrics which help you win a fight before it even starts. In Rank 1, Japan earns itself a respectable B tier. The incredibly underwhelming engines frequently mean that the speed and energy of Japanese planes are a major hindrance. However, at Rank 1, this is not as bad as it will be at other tiers. With many of its fighters at Rank 1, Japan still manages to stay just ahead of the curve. In bombing, the Japanese earn themselves a C tier. The Japanese never excel at carpet bombing, and already their bombers are falling behind the insane bomb loads of German, Soviet, and French planes at these lower ranks by considerable margins. In terms of their armaments, the Japanese sadly earn themselves an F tier, holding on to their beloved low numbers of trashy 7.7mm machine guns with mediocre ammo counts up through BR 2.7. The Japanese simply have the worst in class in terms of armaments. Even the large caliber guns are plagued by slow fire rates and abysmal ammo counts. Though the performance of Japanese planes certainly is some of the best in class, the dozens of seconds of trigger time needed to take down even the lightest of targets pulls these planes back into the realm of mortals. For CAS, the Japanese surprisingly hold an A tier. The B5N2 and B6N1 Model 11 carry this statistic, having very large bombs, excellent torpedoes, and very accurate optical bomb sights. Combined with very good agility to avoid AA fire, makes them absolute units at CAS, both on ground and in the water. For their fun rating, Rank 1 Japan holds a very good A tier. While it might not be the most fun, as some of the early fighters and terrible 7.7mm machine guns hold it back a lot, at this rank, turn fighting is the default, and my goodness are you ever good at that. Combine this with some entertaining planes like the Key 45s and Key 109, and you'll have yourself one fun time at Rank 1. Finally, for their ease of use for newer players to this rank, Japan earns themselves a B tier. Why is that with how good their performances are? Well, for a number of reasons. The lower ammo counts and pitiful guns mean that you will likely need to be fairly proficient with aiming to get kills. Furthermore, most new players will be playing arcade battles, which will take away the one major edge to Japanese planes, the turn performance. Not only that, but some of the most fun planes, the Ki 45s, do take a higher amount of skill, positioning, and energy tactics to use effectively. So, while not beginner unfriendly, it won't be the turkey shoot that many other nations expect it to be after fighting skilled Japanese pilots. Well, gents, there we have it. Rank 1 of the Japanese air tech tree has been sufficiently wrapped up. It was a fun ride with some ups and downs. Now we head into Rank 2, where the Japanese air tech tree really starts to take shape and branch away from the other nations even more. With their unique doctrine, the Japanese air tech tree rises even higher in its area of expertise and drops much lower in all others. It is a nation that was dead set on min-maxing their planes as much as you could imagine. Multi-role is not a word in the Japanese lexicon, mainly because it's an English word. Over the next while, I look forward to sharing the incredible dogfighting of the first Zeros, the more standard fighter playstyle that you get in the Ki line, the continuation of the Ki 45s in the Interceptor line, and the unlikely development of the Strike line. However, I very much don't exactly feel too excited about showing how the Bomber line kind of dived off the first cliff it met. Well, gotta take the good with the bad, I suppose. I'd be honored to see you next time, where we'll be covering the A6M2N floatplane. Technically the first Zero and one of the last and best floatplanes in the tree. Whether you're there or not, I thank you for tuning in today.